You want a woman to be submissive. Like I'm never going to be submissive to a man. I'm never going to be submissive to a man.
Like when you guys watch 50 Shades Darker or 50 Shades Free, you're going, oh wow, this is love. I want to have this. You don't think it's toxic? And when it comes to your man, you want to man up. You want equal love. You don't want to be submissive. And yet you love 50 Shades Darker. You want their love. You don't think it's toxic. I don't really know what women want. I want to be submissive. Yes. I want to be submissive. I am submissive to my husband, and I'm proud of that. It is sexy. It is lovely. It is cool. It's not toxic. So being submissive is the best.
Unpopular opinion, but ladies, you want to be submissive to your man. You may not agree with what I have to say, but hear me out before you chew me out. You see, in today's day and age, there is a negative connotation tied to the word submission because we have these bum-ass guys who expect their girls to respect them, let them lead, take authority over everything while still treating them like an object. Those are not the guys that you submit to. That's not what I'm talking about here. But if you think about it, a woman in her feminine energy will naturally want to submit to a man. Why wouldn't you want a man to do his role? Which his role is to protect, provide, lead. A woman's role is to nurture, provide comfort. And when you look at it from this perspective, a healthy submission is mutually beneficial. And people believe that submitting means the man has the final say and that your word doesn't matter, but that's just not the case. True man will value your opinion because it holds weight. I want you to think of submission to a man like the vacation that you deserve. Let him plan the date. Let him pick out the outfit that he wants you to wear. Submission is easy when there's someone to be submissive to, just like a man will love you if there is someone to be loved. I don't care what you have to say. Most women that I have come across are extremely loyal and submissive. They just need the right person to bring that out of them. It's biblical. God said it best. Man first, then the wife. Can't tell me otherwise.
I'm submissive to my husband because I have married a man whose every action is for myself and our children. It's up in the morning for us. He goes to work for us. His every decision is for us and the building of us. In return, I give willingly, unconditionally, and love my submission to him because he deserves that. We are not in a subservient relationship. We are in a symbiotic relationship. We work together. He does his dance, I do my dance, we flow, we move. That creates life. Not just physically, as these car seats show, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and that life poured out to the world. It is important for us not to always think negatively about something, even though we've been taught that, but to understand the truth. Healing is learning truth that brings life and love to you. That is what my relationship does. It brings life. Not only to me, not only to him, not only to our children, but to everyone that we meet. My submission is uplifting not only to my husband, but to the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-creative creator whom he follows.
It was a thing of like, that's just standard of what you do
Biblically.
Like, I think that like the man is always the head of your household. So I think that was the thing. And then I was so young, I was so impressionable, and he's 6 years older than me.
Okay.
So he's lived by himself. He's done, he's been able to, do
working,
things. By,
yeah.
like he kind of established his life on his own already longer than I have. I went from my mom's house to a marriage. You know what I mean? So I've never been on my own. So it was easy to submit to him because I didn't know what the hell I was doing anyway.
Right.
And he did.
I was in that situation where I became the breadwinner in my situation. But also, too, like when I was in law school, my husband had our kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I was in the library studying 16 hours a day with a newborn baby at home, he had them babies. It's what the woman see as value, right? That was more valuable to me than him bringing in money, paying all the bills and anything. Sure. Women have to also understand, like, just because that man is doing something different than what, you know, you would expect, that's still value that's brought into your household. Because, you know, we say as women, we can have it all, right? Yeah. But really, truthfully, we can't have it all without a support team. That's a fact. So when I did whatever I did, I came home, he's still a man of the house. You know, I'm gonna ask him, like, we gonna make decisions together. I'm never gonna negate that, you know? But at the end of the day, it's about the individual, right? For me, I was intentional about not disrespecting that. It's a team effort. And a lot of times we go into our relationships thinking it's me against you, when it's us against the world. So while you in war at your mind, like, damn, my girl paying the bills, she doing this, she doing that, but you're creating an opportunity for me to do, we can do this together.
Well, go out on a limb and think that maybe the context for the conversation about submissive has to do with men and women. Now, I will say one thing. I was talking to a friend recently and I was saying, you know, the nature of men and women is so dramatically different. Like, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We want and need different things. We are just completely different, even though we're the same species. Now, when you take it back to religion, Islam was sent to eradicate all of the terrible things that occur socially and culturally back in the day and now. It eliminates mistreatment. It eliminates disgusting behavior. It eliminates things like racism, inequality between genders and stuff like that. Now in the modern day, they think that a woman being submissive to a man is a mistreatment of a woman. But I personally think if men are the protectors, the providers, and the caretakers of women, they've got a huge job. God has given them that job, and God has also given women the luxury of being cared for.
Sis, can I share something with you? If you can't submit to your husband, you're not submitted to God. You're in rebellion. How do I know? Because God says, how can you not do for the person that you can see and then love the person that you can't see? Submission is biblical order. If you can't submit to your husband, I can guarantee you have an issue in your submission with God and your walk with God. And so a lot of times women bring up the scripture where men are supposed to love the wives first. It goes both ways. The reality is God is not going to judge you or task you on what your husband is supposed to do. He's going to call you to account for what you were supposed to do. And believe me, if you find an issue with submitting to your husband, you have an issue with Christ.
To my fellow Christian wives, are you struggling with this desire to control your husband? Do you think that everything you have to add to the conversation of the situation is right? And if he would just listen to you, then your family would be on the right track? No judgment, okay? I recently got married and I'm learning this lesson. And the Lord has revealed something to me that I find mind-blowing. I'm in the book of Genesis right now in my yearly reading plan. And in Genesis chapter 3, it's the story we all should know from when we were children about Adam and Eve in the garden and how the serpent deceives Eve and she eats the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil and gives it to her husband, and he eats it as well. As a part of the curse and consequence of eating from the tree, God tells Eve that not only will she experience pain in childbirth, but that her desire will be for her husband, and her husband will rule over her. Now, different versions of the Bible use this word desire as to mean control, consume, take over, overpower. So ladies, your desire, innate desire to control your husband falls back to the curse in the beginning of creation. Now, taking this a step further, in chapter 4 is the story of Cain and Abel. And read the story, but Cain gets jealous and decides to kill his brother Abel. Well, when God speaks to him after that and talks about his consequences of that sin, he said that sin is crouching at Cain's door. That sin's desire is for man, but that man should rule over it. Same thing he told woman with the curse. So the point is, ladies, submit this cursed and unholy desire to control your husband to the Lord. Let it go. Trust that your husband has been given to you for purpose and that he will protect and he will provide and he will do best.